Drugs. See y'all go in the park.
This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full-Time MMA. Don't be a bagel-biting, bagel-bitch-boy, bagel-bitch-back.
What is going on, Full-Time family? It's time to start the show, and we actually have a little bit more time today. We're going to start the show off with some good news, but, well, that's how the first news article we're going to cover. We're actually going to start the show off with a song from UFC Yankovic, and I'm going to pull up the chat, give some shout-outs right after this is done, see what's going on with the Full-Time family before we really get into the show, and maybe we'll even have a co-host today. We'll see. Let's see. Hey. We got some Jon Jones DC shit going down. They call me Conor McGregor, there's no one better. I'ma fuck Khabib up, then go rematch Floyd Money Mayweather. If this dog shit Dagestani thinks he can stand with me, I'll damage him and leave him panicking. Let Russia know I am the king. I don't like you, won't even pretend to try to. I've waited this long to fight you. You shouldn't have fucked with my crew. You ambush Artem Lobov in the hotel lobby, so we went and called gang. Now I'm coked up off of Molly, now I'm coming to the stage. So I think that you should probably stay the fuck up out my way. Somebody get me a dolly. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You think you just come at Khabib? Send me location. You ready for this heat? Yo, Conor McGregor, what the fuck is wrong with you? Come here, let me smash you like chicken, just let me humble you. You take all these drugs, but you won't take home a W. If we fight in UFC or if we fight with guns and crews. No, let me stop it, you don't want me to take it there. If you want, you can take a bear, send location, and I'll be there. What's going on, Full-Time family? Let's start the show. Salute to my boy Stamina MC, London Calling, Valentine T, Leon Dubison, Yo Jordan, Cam Murphy. What's going on, sister? We got Kiani in the building. Khabib time, he says 26-0. Leon Dubison in the building. Mary Thomas. What's going on, everybody? Jabba the Hutt. Y'all ready to start the show? Yo, Jon Jones coming with the heat today. Can't wait to get into that. Damn, I didn't expect. Daniel Cormier, I thought it was a simple joke. He just didn't answer the phone to USADA, took a snapshot. Jon Jones took the opportunity to go in on his ass. Yo, Ever79 says Full-Time got them ducking bars. Hey, that was Conor and Khabib. No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate it, brother. Let's go. But with that being said, oh, Mary Thomas fooled the eagle. Oh, shit, son. Oh, shit. It is a motherfucking war already in the comment section. Let's go. All right, guys. So, group chat's popping. Start the show off with some good news. Conor McGregor, you know what I'm saying, donating 10,000 euros to an Irish child's medical care. And who the fuck is that guy? We got a new subscriber. Yo, appreciated, Baba, for joining the Full-Time family. What is going on, good sir? You guys see the up. Damn, that's the first time somebody subscribed during the live show in a while, man. Fuck these shadow bans. We're all good, though. But the way that it came about, you know, he was just, it seemed like maybe just scrolling through GoFundMe, not just scrolling through. I don't know how he got upon it, but either way, it was unexpected. And this isn't the, you know, this is not Conor McGregor's first charitable thing, and you know, it's always good to point out when people do good stuff. It doesn't, for some reason, always get pointed out, but it is what it is. But either way, if you didn't know, you know, Conor McGregor, he just brought out that Proper 12, and if you listen to the press conference, or even if you bought a bottle and read it, for each bottle bought, there's a certain percentage that goes to first responders, and that's super charitable, and that's super dope. I like that too. So, but Granny McCullough took to Instagram and says, "We are forever grateful. I will never forget what you've done for my boy. You truly are a legend." Donated the 10,000 on the GoFundMe. Now, I don't want to spoil the party, but I do gotta say, Fook GoFundMe. Let my shit get flagged down twice for no good goddamn reason and tell me we ain't got to give you a reason. Hey, man, what the hell is going on? No, but at least it's still getting used, you know, even our situation is different. It's still good to see this, you know. That's just a side note and somewhat of a joke. But either way, man, good to see. Now let's get into the MMA news. Got my rubbing my hands like Birdman. We got some shit to talk about, Full-Time family. And by the way, I think it was you Forward you wanted to join yesterday. If you want to join today, by the way, you can if you're in the building. I don't see him in the building yet. I know Stamina MC is in here. So if Forward gets in here, we'll probably have him hop on as a co-host today. But yeah, man, Nate Diaz fucking implant. You know what, guys? And I might be wrong, but I just feel like Nate Diaz is almost looking for a way out of this fight. And maybe he's not looking for a way out. I don't think he's scared of Dustin Poirier. But he's almost made me shit my drawers twice. I'm just saying, I'm out. As far as canceling this fight, like, dog, he's back after 2 years. Shit, that was funny. No, but he's back after 2 years, and if you recall at the press conference, it was the 25th anniversary press conference. You had Diaz and Poirier there. As soon as they announced McGregor versus Khabib, Nate Diaz got up and walked off, and he was like, "I don't even know if I'm fighting, man. That's bullshit. They better start over promoting and not under promoting it." You know, he was pissed off, talking about he might not even fight, and I was like, dude, we've already been waiting 2 years, 2 bike seasons, 2 fucking retirement threats, 2 call-outs. We've been waiting so long for this return, and it's like he's already ready to go. And it's like, he was like, no, he's good. He's not pulling out. He's not pulling out. He's maybe reconsidered. Dustin Poirier even said Nate Diaz isn't known for pulling out of fights. I don't think he's going to pull out of this fight. Well, now we saw a couple days ago Nate Diaz and Dustin Poirier took to Twitter and said, "I'm fighting for the 165 title." Nate Diaz announced it. "I'm bringing in the 165-pound title." Dustin Poirier said, "Hey, glad to announce I'm bringing out the 165-pound title." So it seemed like both fighters thought they were going to be bringing in this new division. Well, then the UFC refutes that, and they're like, well, Dana White, at least, he's, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're fighting at 155. Ain't no 165 title. There's no truth whatsoever to that. And so now that's something that for some reason they're under the impression they're fighting. And now Nate Diaz taken to Twitter, and this is what he had to say. He said, "UFC just told me Dustin doesn't want to fight at 165. I'll be back next year." What the hell is going on, guys? El Chapo with the €2. What's up, bro? Keep up the grind. I appreciate it, El Chapo. Thank you very much. But yeah, man. I don't know. I'm gonna talk about this. I just know there's an alert that's about to go off, so I'm waiting on the alerts. I mean, usually there's an alert. Maybe it's a little late, but either way, Nate Diaz says he'll be back next year. It's like, what?
Limousine right.
There it is.
Jet flag. Son of a gun. And I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down.
Khabib ain't pulling out of shit. Trust me, says Leon Douglasson. Yeah, hopefully Khabib and Conor, man, but yeah, that fight is good. I don't even want to worry about that fight. That fight's happening. Diaz versus Poirier, I've already kind of worried about once in the past, and here we are again. Nate Diaz saying, "I'll be back next year." And this is the thing. Dustin Poirier not wanting to fight for a 165 title main event against Nate Diaz, that don't even make no damn sense. But hold on. I thought the UFC said that there was no truth to this. I thought there was no 165 title being talked about. And so the UFC's clearly talking to Nate Diaz about a 165-pound title, and maybe there's some miscommunication going on in the UFC. I think there's some miscommunication, you know, because Dana White doesn't deal with Nate Diaz anymore. He said that. He's like, we got guys that deal with Nate Diaz. You know, the UFC was recently bought out. Dana White is still like the figurehead and who we really look at as the face of the UFC, but he isn't the only guy that's making decisions, you know what I'm saying? And so maybe there are people, part of the new owner group, new management, that are like, yeah, we do want to bring in this 165-pound title, and they are telling Nate Diaz, hey, we want you guys to be the main event, 165-pound title, because somebody's talking to Nate Diaz about this 165-pound title in the UFC, even though Dana White said otherwise. But with that being said, Dustin Poirier, right after Nate Diaz announced the 165, he announced it too. He let us know he was down. So Dustin Poirier said publicly he was down to fight for 165. Do you think he went to the UFC like, actually, guys, I really only want to fight Nate at 155. I don't want no smoke at 165. I don't think that happened. But Dustin Poirier said, hold that noise. I'm 100% down. So don't put that on me. You know, you don't. But either way, this is just another time Nate Diaz has seemed like he's halfway out of the fight. So even though Dustin Poirier is ready, right? What if the UFC doesn't want to make it for the 165 title? You know, will Nate Diaz pull out then? Even if okay, I do believe Dustin Poirier is willing. So let's say word gets to Nate Diaz. Hold on, no, I am ready to fight. What are you talking about? I want to fight at 165. So Nate Diaz is like, all right, then I'll fight. But what if the UFC's like, yeah, but we don't want to bring in this 165-pound division. We already announced the fight at lightweight. You know, we find a main event, an interim title, so we're going to leave it at lightweight. Nate Diaz like, no, fuck that. Somebody already told me, you know, I'm getting 165-pound title, motherfucker. I'm just saying, will he pull out of the fight now unless he gets the 165-pound title? I'm not sure, man. But Madison Square Garden could fucking tank. Oh, my. This is the co-main event we're looking at that might fall apart. We still are waiting on the main event announcement. Oh, Lord. So, and so this could be a scenario where we only get one. Because if they do find a main event, right? Interim title fight, or even if they get Jones versus Gustafsson, if they can get Jon Jones to agree to fight at Madison Square Garden. Gustafsson said he's down to fight at Madison Square Garden. He was going to fight Romero there, but the UFC went with different plans. But that does let us know Gustafsson's down to fight. So if they can get Jon Jones to fight at Madison Square Garden, then possibly they would be the main event. And it might be for an interim or the real light heavyweight title. DC could vacate. But if that happens, then Diaz versus Poirier would not be for the 165-pound title. Which means Nate Diaz might be like, fuck that motherfucker. Somebody told me I was fighting for the title. I'm on the title or nothing. I'll be back next year. Like you said here, I'll be back next year. So we might, if we do get a main event, we might lose Diaz. But if we don't get a main event, then we might get Diaz versus Poirier at 165 for a new title. So Madison Square Garden is in the balance right now. Because what happens if Nate Diaz and what if they like get an interim title fight, right? Like they were looking at Romero versus Gustafsson. What if we got Romero versus Gustafsson and now Diaz and Poirier is not for a 165 title? And so now what we're left with is a main event of an interim title fight, and Nate Diaz is pissed off. He left the card. I mean, there's a whole lot we got to see that happens for him. Tickets are on sale. I mean, it's like you're gambling when you're buying tickets. You might be buying tickets to a lackluster card. It'll still have some good fights. Middleweight Square Garden, Weidman versus Rockhold 2. Adesanya's on the card. I mean, you know, versus Brunson. You got David Branch versus Jacare. It's still a good card if you're a hardcore fan. But boy, when you're looking at a potential Jon Jones return, a potential Nate Diaz co-main event, and you're potentially left with just an interim title fight, that would be crazy. But that's a possibility. So it's like if you're buying tickets to the event, you're gambling. You might be buying tickets and getting an amazing show. What if Jon Jones does come back at Madison Square Garden? Nate Diaz versus Poirier stays on the card. You got Jones and Nate Diaz all at Madison Square Garden. But what if neither one of those come through? You're like, your ticket to Madison Square Garden is like a lottery ticket at this point. That's funny. But yeah. El Chopper says, full-time, where's Jamari Diaz, dude? I don't know. Jamari, he'll post a comment every fucking 10 videos every now and then. Like, he made sure to come back and say, like, he said Canelo's about to get his ass whooped. I think he said DC's about to get his ass whooped. He'll only come back, you know, a few times when one of his favorite fighters are fighting. I don't know where he's been. Not as active in the comments. Maybe he's just listening now. Maybe he's just lurking. But either way, salute to Jamari. Mary Thomas says, so long story short, Artem was running his mouth, or there's more to it. Artem was running his mouth about Khabib in an interview. But this is the thing, man. If you really get deeper into that, something happened before that interview. And it was like someone at a bar might have been like, and this is allegedly, it might have been like a Russian bar, like one of Conor's homies. It's crazy, bro. It's even, if you look into this shit and all the way back, like there was allegedly like a bar fight or someone followed someone home and whooped their ass, and that might have been one of Artem's boys, which triggered him to talk that shit, which triggered the slap, which triggered the dolly. Like, this shit is deeper than even the fucking slap, dog. Deeper than that interview. It's crazy how deep this shit goes as far as UFC 229. But yeah, it's insane. It's deeper than rap for sure. Sean Jordan says Weedman and Rockhold. Weedman, I thought you were talking about Nate Diaz. That's funny. Weedman and Rockhold will be a good Brunson is fighting, and I want to see Adesanya fight too. Yeah, it'll still be a good card, especially for us hardcore fans. But no Nate Diaz, no Jon Jones. The pay-per-view. And you know what I'm saying? And if there is, and same thing with your ticket. I mean, like, let's say just ideally, like, you're a fucking ticket, someone that scalps tickets or something, right? And you bought a bunch of Madison Square Garden tickets, and you're going to try and resell them. Well, if Nate Diaz and Jon Jones gets announced, the motherfuckers are high. But if it's like Yoel versus Gustafson, co-main event, Weidman versus Rockhold, you know what I'm saying? It's not the same deal, but it's crazy. We'll see what happens. Either way, still looking for a main event. Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier, again in the balance. I mean, man, I don't know what's going on. Seems to be at least a little bit of miscommunication as far as the UFC saying there's no truth whatsoever to 165. Nate Diaz and Dustin Poirier both announced it, though, and also Nate Diaz is again saying the UFC's telling me Dustin don't want to fight at 165, which I don't know what's going on there. So I'll keep you guys updated, of course. You know, tomorrow's Bellator 206, Mousasi versus McDonald, Rampage versus Silva 4, Pico versus Higo, the beginning round of the Bellator Welterweight Grand Prix, Koreshkov versus Lima. And 50 Cent, by the way, recently came out and said he's going to put $1 million cash of his own money for the winner of the Bellator Welterweight Grand Prix.
You already know. Well, yeah, I'm celebrating. Just did a deal. Viacom, Bellator MMA. That's going down. See, I got the WBA right here. This right here, this next year is me versus me for Hustler of the Year. I'm doing it big shit with me. I'm the heavyweight champion of this shit right here. Got this shit going, man. You should see me. I told these people Don King ain't Don King. Don King, oh, I'm Don King. I'm the American dream around this motherfucker champ. You should have seen me. Working in the room like a motherfucker. But they pay me, you know what I'm saying? So check this out. You give me something you want, a little watch or something like that. I send something over there. You know, so all that little money, we was upset about the little money that you didn't put into the actual box and shit. I'm not upset about that shit at all. No more, not at all. No more. Because if we wasn't cool, I wouldn't be making a deal like this right now. My nigga, you did it. You did it, chap. I know you didn't mean to do it. You didn't retarded motherfucker, but you did it. You already know.
50's a fool, man. Yo. Oh shit, somebody's here. Dogs are on their ass. No, but that's funny to me. Shit, me versus me. That shit was funny to me. But either way, man, we'll move on. That's tomorrow, Bellator 206. Can't wait for that. We're gonna be doing a live fight companion. But speaking of Nate Diaz's fight being in jeopardy, Nate Diaz got I don't want to say cornered by TMZ, but he got approached by TMZ, and he spoke a little bit about McGregor versus Khabib, and he said they're both not that good. This is what he had to say. Can't play the video because shit'll probably get copy strike, but he said I'll beat both of them. I'll beat both their asses. They're not that good. So and you know, he might have a point. Because he's a welterweight / middleweight, and they're a little smaller. But even then, I would like to see Diaz versus Khabib, because the Diaz brothers aren't, you know, they're not the biggest fans of, and also not the best wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? They're always, I don't like, it's just not their best style matchup. They're boxing and jiu-jitsu. The wrestling has shown in the past to potentially be a weakness of theirs. And so, even though Khabib is smaller, if he was fighting, he cuts a lot of weight. He's a big lightweight. But, like, let's say Nick Diaz versus Khabib at 165. I don't know if Nick Diaz just completely beats his ass. I don't know. It'd be a good fight. And with McGregor, that's another fight, yo. McGregor versus Nick Diaz. What the fuck are we talking about? That fight should have been happened, dude. I don't give a damn. We need to get Nate. Yo, you know what? Fuck this Khabib, Floyd Mayweather, fucking Woodley, whoever else anybody's talking about. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. Fuck Polly. All these motherfuckers. We don't want to see those fights. This is what we need to see. Nate versus Conor 3. And if Conor wins, we need to see Nate versus Nick. Fuck what you talking about. Nate versus Nick? Yo, I mean, because... And of course, that would have to be if Conor beat Nate. If Nate beats Conor in the third fight, then what's the point of, Nate won twice. What's the point of going up and fighting Big Brother? You already lost twice to Little Brother. But even if the Nate versus, I'm just saying, Nick versus Conor, you already got the Diaz history. Now we got Big Brother. That's got to happen at some point. What are we talking about? Yo, Nick Diaz versus Conor McGregor, fucking like 2020. But there's so many options for McGregor. Is he going to keep fighting if he keeps making all this money? If he keeps... I don't know, man. What if he loses to Khabib? Then he could still fight Nate. And holy smokes, it's a good time to be an MMA fan. Whole lot of shit coming up. Even though I mean, at the same time, all of that, as excited as you want to get, when is Nick coming back? Is Nick coming back? I don't even know, to be honest. Trollbust in the building. What's going on, good sir? Mixon SA, Infamous MMA. What's going on, everybody? Infamous MMA says Nick Diaz did hit Khabib with the water bottle, so in his mind he beat him already. Yeah. He hit him with the water bottle. That shit's funny. Sarah Memory says Khabib won't make it that far. He leaves his chin way too exposed. Yo, Khabib's coach got me worried today. Khabib's coach, he is being a little too honest. Maybe we're gonna talk about that coming up too. Yo, and it goes to the point that I believe Conor McGregor got in Khabib's head at least a little bit. Some people feel like he didn't. I don't know. You might be a little biased. Maybe you're just one of those people that don't like McGregor, but you have to admit at least a little bit. And Khabib admitted that whenever he said, I'm not going to finish you, I'm going to fucking punish you, that's because you're so pissed off. It's not because you're trying to win the fight. It's not because you're trying to fucking prove a point to McGregor. So you're going to fuck around and let him live in the first round just so you can smash him in the second round. And just so you can smash, you want to make him tired, you want to punish this dude for everything he said. That's emotions. He got to you. Something he said, he got to you. If you're not going to finish him, man, and that's not a good idea. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. Mary Thomas says, so speaking of weed, I know it's not legal everywhere, but does anyone know where to get a sativa strain? Where do you live? I mean, where do you live? Is it legal where you live? If so, probably your nearest weed shop. I don't know, though. It's not. We don't got dispensaries where I'm at. Steven MC says, we got some fight experts up in here today, I see. Oh, snaps. The group chat's popping. I see people in here breaking down these fights. Kiani says, Nick would get whooped. Oh, snaps. I'm him says, I like Nick Diaz, but he's bored right now. Yeah, I don't know. You know, Nick Diaz, he just had that legal situation that got cleared up, you know, thankfully for him, which is a good sign. But before that, he was kind of cleared to fight. But before that, he also had a whereabouts suspension. You know, he got cleared for the weed, and that suspension was over. And then he got a whereabouts suspension because USADA couldn't find him, probably because he was at this club instead of this club, or at this club instead of that club. But either way, is Nick Diaz coming back? If he does, it'll probably be for a super fight. I mean, there's talks of GSP coming back. Anderson Silva just got cleared. And Nick Diaz has fought those guys. Maybe we could see those rematches. We'll see what happens. Anderson Silva did recently reply to a comment on Instagram. I think it was Instagram. And he said that it'll be back in January. So Anderson Silva will probably be back in January. That's when the ESPN deal starts. Nick Diaz versus Anderson Silva would be a pretty good fight. That'd be a pretty big fight. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with Nick Diaz. Shoot, Nate Diaz has got a fight scheduled, and that thing is in the balance we saw. So we'll see what happens with the Diaz brothers, but definitely in the news a little bit today. Ben Askren, speaking of Nate Diaz, holy smokes. Ben Askren coming in hot. Ben Askren not impressed with Nate Diaz and his arms the size of a noodle. Holy smokes, dog. Nate Diaz will choke you with them motherfucking noodles. Chill, man. Noodles turn into motherfucking wire. Not wires. Noodles will choke you real quick, man. But either way, Nate Diaz says 165 pounds. Don't be scared. Ben Askren says, nothing about you is very scary. Arms the size of a noodle, takedown defense like a middle schooler, and a very amateur smack talk. I highly doubt anyone is scared of someone who's 6-6 in his last 12. Yo, Ben with the heat. Ben coming in with the heat, you guys. Now, with that being said, Ben Askren, someone replied to him, right? And they said, a reminder, Nate Diaz has never pulled out of a fight, injured or not. He says, man, never pulled out, never missed weight, never failed a drug test, never lost. Now we're talking. Ben Askren, I believe, retired 18-0, dominant wrestler, great fighter. I mean, there's been talks about Ben Askren versus GSP, Ben Askren, and, you know, I believe he trains with Woodley. Either Woodley's his wrestling coach or he's Woodley's wrestling coach. Either way, those guys train wrestling together. He trains with Beast. There's been he fought for one championship, also Bellator previously. Never fought in the UFC yet, but Ben Askren is definitely one of the best welterweights out there. So with that being said, he's responding to Nate Diaz. And as far as the noodle arms thing, I gotta say this: a lot of these motherfuckers just don't make mistakes. A lot of motherfuckers know how to beat USADA. You fuck around and make a mistake, though. This is one thing you can say about the Diaz brothers. They might be two of the only motherfuckers in the UFC not on steroids. And of course, there's probably a few other clean fighters, but a lot of these motherfuckers are doing something, man. Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz famously said it. Everybody's on fucking steroids. And with a lot of the shit that's been going on lately, with people failing tests and then getting re-cleared, and, you know, the wordings people have been using, like DC, man, and this sticks out to me. And I was talking to my brother who's a casual fan, and I was just telling him what DC said, and he was like, he said the same thing, and maybe some of you got it. And I don't want to go too far into this conversation because I don't want to point fingers at anybody that's never failed a drug test. That's why I like what Nate and Nick said when they just said all these motherfuckers are on steroids. So when it comes to noodle arms, yeah, maybe it's because they're not in there with that extra shit in them, like a lot of people know. You know, a lot of people probably can beat USADA. They do random drug testing, and so you can't juice to the gills. You can't juice to the gills, but you can juice to the fucking eyes. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You can't do everything you used to do, but there's something that you can do. There's always new shit that people are doing, man. And when you talk about the eye test, that motherfucker don't exist in the UFC. There's no such thing as an eye test, because if you're looking at the eye test, there's a lot of people that don't pass the eye test that don't fail test. A lot of people. If you just wanted to go do that fucking eye test, you'd have to agree with Nick and Nate. Everybody's on fucking steroids, and maybe that's why they got the noodle arms, as Ben Askren says, because they don't want, they might even know how to beat the fucking system, but they probably don't want to. And then like, man, fuck all that. I'd rather go hit the bong and choke your ass out. I'm not about to fucking shoot needles in my ass and fucking pump iron all day so I can fucking cheat to win. I'll either choke your ass out, I'll outbox your ass, or you're a fucking cheater and you win. Congrats. I'm gonna go smoke some weed. So, say what you want about Nick and Nate, but they're two of the only clean people in the sport. And what I was gonna say is, and I really don't want to do this off of this conversation because it is what it is, man. Fuck that. I'm saying it. But I'm just going to say, DC, when he reacted to Jon Jones recently, and he was talking about USADA, and that's going to be a good transition because we're going to be talking about Jon Jones and DC. Boy, is Jon Jones coming in hot. He's coming in like Ben Askren. But this is what he had to say. DC, he was like, yo, I've tested 16 times. I've tested, never failed a drug test, never made a mistake. And he was like, so don't test me anymore, USADA. I'm not going to make a mistake. And I was like, what? Now, what did you guys get from that? I'm just like, what? You're not going to make a mistake? What are you talking about? You mean you're never going to take a steroid, you mean, right? I don't know. But that was just me. Maybe that's where I got it from. I was like, whenever I heard the words, I'm not going to make a mistake, instead, that for some reason, my fucking alarms went off. Like, what? You're not going to make a mistake? Like, USADA, don't test me. I've never failed a drug test. I'm not going to make a mistake. Make a mistake? What? Okay, so that was just me. But also, you hear people like George St. Pierre coming out, and he's telling you on the Joe Rogan podcast how to beat USADA. He's like, yeah, people beat USADA. I'll tell you how to do it right now. Tell USADA, go to Alaska for 2 days, go somewhere, fucking shoot steroids out of your system in 2 days, and come back. USADA's not going to follow you to Alaska, so bada boom. GSP told you how to do it. If you listen to Khabib, when he talks to, USADA's been honoring fighters who've had 25 or more tests lately. You get like an honor from USADA. Like, they're like, yo, you got 25 tests, speak about USADA. They're like, yo, yeah, they're doing a great job. I love USADA. They're cleaning up the sport. And Khabib said, USADA's doing a great job of cleaning up the sport, but I still believe 50% or more athletes are on the juice. So, GSP, Khabib, they're letting you know motherfuckers are beating it. So now, people are failing the eye test, but they're not failing tests. You can't accuse people just off the eye test, but I'm just saying, when you want to talk about fucking noodle arms, maybe that's got something to do with these being some of the only fucking clean fighters in the sport. That's all I'm saying. So, it is what it is. And maybe that's why these motherfuckers ain't fighting as much. Like, yeah, I'll beat some ass. I'm down to fight. Fuck with me and my crew anywhere, and you'll see. But I'm not fighting a bunch of fucking USADA passing, steroid testing. But you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck all that. I make money out here. I made some money. I fucked around and whooped Conor. Get on my level, dude. I'll go sell some weed legally, dog. I can literally go sell the Diaz. I can literally go post up at any fucking weed dispensary with my brand and sell this shit legally and make more money than some of y'all are making fighting. And you motherfuckers gotta take steroids and you still ain't fucking with me. So, you gotta respect the Diaz brothers in that sense, honestly. But yeah, man, we'll move on from that topic. Ben Askren coming in hot at Nate Diaz and his, he calls them noodle arms, but I'm defending the Diaz brothers a little bit here. I'll call them the non-USADA arms. You know, the but I mean, to be fair, there are people that are clean that have some big arms too, bigger than that. So it is what it is. I'm just saying. Motherfucking everybody's on steroids. That's all I'm saying. With that being said, great transition. Jon Jones lights into Daniel Cormier over the USADA criticism. Exactly what we were just talking about. Yo, I kind of figured Jon Jones would be a little quiet. I mean, he has been. Chael Sonnen pointed that out on his podcast. He was like, have you guys noticed Jon Jones has been more quiet in these last 6 days since he's been cleared, since he was in 6 months before that? Jones was posting training videos, talking about the comeback, fucking taking pictures with Rumble. He was in an interview, a Russian interview, talking all the, going back and forth with Chael. He was loud, and then it came out that Jon Jones got a 33-month reduction, and then it came out that he was snitching. I mean, it is what it is. We don't know on who. We don't know the extent, but that's the motherfucking what the paperwork says right now. So I figured since that came out, maybe that's why he was being a little quiet. And so as soon as I seen this, I was like, damn, Jon Jones is, and maybe you got to be quiet because I expect Daniel Cormier to come back and hit him with what all the fans are. Like, what? You took steroids, cocaine, and now you snitch. Well, it is what it is. Jon Jones, to my surprise, fired off on Daniel Cormier. Holy smokes. He took to Instagram and he reposted Daniel Cormier's picture. Remember, we were talking about Daniel Cormier posted a picture where he missed a call from USADA, and he was like, don't call me anymore. You motherfuckers, let Jon Jones come back. You only tested him 1 time this year. Meanwhile, you guys are knocking on my door at 5 in the morning. I got a family. My kids might be in fucking bed for school. Yo, motherfuckers got a family. You started knocking at 4 in the morning like the police. And they probably call you before. They probably don't knock like the police. I'm just saying, motherfucker, I do not want to have to let my motherfucking son wake up because you guys want to come make sure I'm clean and you only tested Jon Jones once this motherfucking year. And how does that make sense? So DC's a little pissed at USADA. Don't fucking call me no more. Now, be careful. You don't want to fail a test. Don't fail that test. Don't get a whereabouts failure because you're pissed. That's all I'm saying. But Jon Jones reposted this, and boy, did he light DC up. He said, Daniel Cormier, you mad, bro? Oh, and he took the fucking MGK approach. Where's my boy Bada Jr. when you need him? He said, you mad, bro? USADA keeps calling, but you're not going to pick up the phone because the second you hear them say I'm innocent is the instant the illusion you've created shatters. Then it's all real again, and that's not a step you're willing to take. Instead, you wrap yourself in your fake belt and keep telling yourself the shin that slammed into your face and the performance that buried you once again was enhanced. The fact that you can't beat me kills you and it stops you from picking up that phone. If you answer it, then the nightmares become reality. Then again, maybe you do pick up. Accept the truth that you were defeated by a superior fighter and that gives you peace. Or it goes another way and you get motivated to try a 3rd time and that'll save me the hassle of trying to dig you up before I bury you. So now that the illusion you've built is crumbling and the violation was not intended nor could it have enhanced the athlete's performance, you still tell yourself something, yeah? And while there was absolutely no intention to use prohibited substances, it was my intention to kick your ass once again. Mission accomplished. Pick up the phone. Let's talk about it. Yikes. Yikes. Oh, shit. Hashtag let's talk about it. He did answer it. We're gonna, but God, all I'm just saying, Jon Jones got all of that from DC missing a call. My bad. He said let's talk about it like MGK. I did not expect that fucking heat from Jon Jones. Boy, he came in. And yeah, man, I was thinking DC was just playing a little joke. I think look, Like, if you see this, look, DC, he had a text from his girl 3 minutes ago. He literally didn't even let a minute go by before he took that screenshot. He was playing a fucking joke. He was joking. You think he didn't call USADA right back? My bad, guys. My bad, guys. I was on the phone with my wife. I'm over here. You think he's really about to fail a fucking drug test because he's mad at USADA? Daniel Cormier, he's a funny guy. But boy, Jon Jones got in that ass over that. Holy smokes. But he had some kind of good points. Now, he had some good points if you're a Jon Jones fan. He was saying shit like the illusion that you built is about to come crumbling down. And, you know, he said some good shit because in reality, if they do fight again, then, you know what I'm saying? Especially if they fight before the Brock Lesnar fight, Daniel Cormier could lose everything. Especially if Jon Jones is not failing drug tests now. He's only fucking took one. And, oh, by the way, and this is, you know, I'm Team DC. Fuck what you're talking about. Jon Jones, he fucked up too many times. There's no way I'm taking his side over DC's at this point. Either way, I'm Team DC. So with that being said, man, it is what it is. With that being said, Jon Jones is talking about the violation was not intended, nor could it have enhanced the athlete's performance. And then he says, absolutely no intention of use. Yeah, USADA did say that, but that made no fucking sense. Because we never found the contaminated supplement. You gave him 14 things to fucking test and none of them were contaminated. Yet somehow you stopped failing drug tests. So if you're still taking all 14 of these supplements, why ain't you still failing tests if one of them's contaminated or anything? And oh, by the way, you got a 4-year suspension. Why the fuck do you have to tell on somebody if there's no intention? Why? That's crazy. If USADA was like, yo, we actually believe you're innocent. We believe there was no intention. We believe it didn't enhance your performance. But you better fucking cooperate. Well, that would be shitty. That would be a weird situation. So, I don't know. I don't understand that wording. But it is what it is. Jon Jones had the heat, but Daniel Cormier responded. Daniel Cormier issues a savage response to Jon Jones. This is what Daniel Cormier responded and said. Oh, shit, I haven't even saw this yet. He posted a picture of him in court in his fucking oranges and shit. Yo, he said, this motherfucker, these two dudes, man. Yo, that shit is so funny. Oh, my God. DC said, so here we go again, Johnny boy. First off, if you did nothing wrong and you were innocent, then you'd never have been suspended. You've had to stand up before these people and arbitrators so many times it's insane. You slipped again. How many times can one man slip? I've been tested 70 times and I haven't slipped once. How you'd explain that? I pictured that as how you going to explain that, like the coach. How do you explain that? And on top of all the cheating you've done around UFC 182, UFC 200, and UFC 214, that's not even the straw that broke the camel's back. You are actually a snitch. You shit, son. You dropped the bomb. Yo, you think you're the only one that's been offered this deal? No, you're just the only scumbag low enough to take it. Which one of your teammates did you tell on to get this joke of a punishment from USADA? I thought there was nothing lower than a cheater, but it's not surprising. That you show me a whole new level. You're a cheater and a snitch. Get off my page and do some coke or steroids or whatever losers do in your spare time. Hashtag double champ. Yo, that is insane. Someone says, Sean Jordan says, did you see the rumors saying Jones snitched on Cerrone? No, but Cerrone never failed a drug test or got suspended, so it ain't like he really could have told on much. But Cerrone told on, he didn't snitch on him, but he went on the Joe Rogan podcast and put it out there. Our wrestling coach is a guy that used to peddle fucking steroids to his students. Now, I think it was my boy Stamina MC who said maybe Jon Jones just throws that guy under the bus, that coach, and says he's, you know. And you know what's crazy is there's been steroid accusations about some of the fighters at Jackson Wink, not just Jon Jones. And it's kind of crazy when you talk about this wrestling coach and, I don't know, and Jon Jones' history. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. We'll see how all this plays out. But as far as Jon Jones and this whole snitching situation, I don't know how public that's going to be. And also, if you looked in the paperwork, it doesn't have to be another fighter. It can be a coach. It can be a fucking steroid supplier. You know what I'm saying? It can be somebody that don't even fucking follow MMA news. They just sell steroids or something. You know what I'm saying? Jon Jones could be flipping on a fucking steroid supplier or something. And by the way, it doesn't have to be to USADA. It can be to like the federal, like the bureau, like type shit. It can be to other authorities. So either way, DC responded and fucking said a whole new low. Not only are you a cheater, but you're a snitch. And by the way, how is that going to affect Jon Jones' performance, right? I mean, what if he comes back? Fucking he's looked at as a cheater and a snitch, but now he has to fight clean, right? Now he's back on the USADA pool. They're got a fucking fine-tooth comb under his ass. So now he's back. Is he gonna look like he looked against OSP? Or what if he comes back and fucking like knocks out Daniel Cormier again and he's clean? Like that would be crazy, because it would mean he's still the GOAT. I don't know. It's so weird, because this is what makes sense to me. If you had to stop taking steroids and the only reason you're back is because you're telling on somebody, then your body's going to change and you're probably going to be looking like you did against OSP. And so even though you're back, you're going to be half of yourself, because we never found, and that's if Jon Jones was on steroids. But now, devil's advocate, and this is really hard to believe unless you're a Jon Jones simp, really hard to believe. Devil's at, what if Jon Jones, it was dick pills the first time, the second time it was a trace element, and like USADA is saying, they don't believe Jon Jones had any intent, they don't believe that trace element, the trace amount enhanced his performance. So what if he wasn't actually juiced to the gills? You know what I'm saying? What if he wasn't? And then he comes back and he knocks out Daniel Cormier, and then what happens? I don't know, man. But I would imagine he's going to come back and look like he did against OSP, because it really feels like Jon Jones has been cheating. Just being honest, as a fan, what I see, it feels like Jon Jones. I mean, if you look at his performances, if you look at the timeline, the first fight since after USADA for Jon Jones was OSP. He didn't look amazing, and he didn't fail a test. He knocks out Daniel Cormier and fails a drug test. So, I mean, it's like the only time he's really looked great is when he failed a drug test. And before that, there wasn't USADA. So, even if he was juiced to the gills before USADA, and then USADA came around, it would make sense that he looked bad against OSP. And then he failed a drug test when he knocked out Daniel Cormier. All of that points to Jon Jones cheating. And so now that he's back, he's going to not look the same, right? And that, I don't know. So with that being said, where's the Jon Jones simps? That's what I'm saying. Let's talk about it. Fuck it, Jon Jones. Let's talk about it. Yeah, you said it. If I was Daniel Cormier, should have put hashtag killshot on this shit. Let's talk about it. I mean, Addict says, we all know he pops next time he fights, and that Joe Sonnen predicted that. Is there a panel today? Yeah, we can hop on the panel. Let's do it. We got about 30 or so minutes. Let me just rush through these topics and we'll hop on the panel real fast. That's what we'll do. Javier Mendez not confident Khabib will take the safe route and wrestle McGregor. This is to the point I was making earlier. Khabib's emotional. He might not be as emotional as some of Conor's opponents, but Conor got to him. There's no way you can, well, you might believe it, but you're probably either a Khabib simp or you're just a McGregor hater. And so with that being said, I mean, Khabib lets you know at the press conference, I'm going to punish this guy. I'm not going to finish him early. I want to fucking drag him till he's tired, and then I want to continue to beat his ass. And that's playing with your food, you know, to say. And that's not what you want to do with McGregor. We saw Chad Mendez had him in bad spots early in the fight multiple times, and since he didn't get the finish, McGregor came back and knocked his ass out. So that's a deadly game to play with McGregor. If you get him down in the first round and you do bad things to him and wear him out, but you decide not to finish him, you decide not to choke him out, you decide not to Kimura him when you have the opportunity, you want to let him fucking, you want to beat him up some more. Well, then he comes and knocks your ass out in the second round because you wanted to let him up. You're bad. And Javier Mendez is saying that he can't you know, confirmed that Khabib's going to listen to his game plan. He said, I don't want Khabib to play with him. I want Khabib to get him out of there early, but he might not listen. And it's like, damn, you know, he's not really listening to the coach's game plan, and that can get you fucked up in here. He says, I say to my fighters, I don't care what you do as long as you're winning. So let's backtrack when Khabib fought Michael Johnson and he wasn't fighting the right way. We were screaming our heads off, and then he did what he needed to do, and he won the first round and submitted him in the second. Khabib has always done what he wants to do, but he's won every round. He's always winning. So regardless, how can I come back and say, hey, you didn't listen to the blah, blah, blah. You didn't listen to the plan, because I say regardless of what you do, you have to win. As long as you're winning, and he hasn't lost a round, he wins every round. So what he wants to do, he's going to want to do. What? That's a fucking glaring hole for me. Watching, like, what? So Khabib, and but it's the truth. Khabib, you know, he said they were screaming their heads off during the Michael Johnson fight. I think the same thing happened during the Ali Quinta fight. Like, don't stand up with him. Take him down. Like, in the corner, if you remember, they were telling them, you got to take this guy down. Take this guy down. You know, fight your game. Fight your game. And he was out there standing with Ali Quinta. He don't always listen to the coach, but either way, he still has the good matchup, but still. With that being said, what if he wants to show McGregor, and he did this against Iaquinta, he did take him down the first couple of rounds, right? And then he decided to stand with him. And so what if he does? That would be such an ill-advised move against McGregor, but he's emotional right now because a lot of the shit McGregor said, political, religious shit. McGregor does that. He gets under people's skin. I mean, some people feel like McGregor was just wilding and he was on coke and, you know, he was scared himself. Well, he motherfucking still said some deep shit. He still made Khabib react a couple times. Khabib was asking him questions. What happened? You tell us what happened. No, I want him to answer a question. What happened? You know, like, so you could say they're both emotional, but either way, he did something to Khabib, and Javier Mendez continued. He says, can I predict what he's gonna do? No. Do I know what I want him to do? Yes. I want him to go out there and look for the takedown as quick as possible and finish it. But is that what Khabib's going to do? I don't know. That's what I want him to do, but as long as he's winning, I don't care what he does. He says, do you think since the fight was announced, I'm telling him do what you want? No, I want the safest route. The safest route is my route. But what I'm saying is he doesn't necessarily do what I want to do. But he does because he wins. And that's what I ask him to do at the end of the day. I don't care as long as you're winning rounds, and that's what he does. So I can't be mad at him for ever not listening to the plan myself or his father would want because he's winning. Khabib may decide to clown him. If he's got Conor where he wants him, he could decide to clown him and drown him for 5 rounds. Hell, I'd be screaming my head off. What are you doing? Finish him. Nope, nope. I'm going to make him pay for it. I'm going to make him do this. I'm going to do that. Khabib's going to do what he wants to do. And of course, like I said, his father and myself, we drive ourselves crazy watching him do that. But again, as long as he's winning, we're okay. And that's fucking terrible to hear. That tells me, to me, that makes me confident in McGregor's. Like, if I was at 50-50, I'm at like 55 McGregor, 45 Khabib now. Because fucking drown him for 5 rounds? You're going to let Conor McGregor stand up 5 fucking times, and it's not a guarantee. He might finish him. If Khabib was smart, that's what he would do. Listen to his coach and his father and get him out of there as quick as possible. But if you think you're going to fucking punish McGregor for 5 rounds, which means you have to start on your feet and you got to get a new takedown all 5 rounds because you're that confident, motherfucker, you might go to sleep. Come on. That would be really ill-advised and not be smart for Khabib at all. So, on top of that, Javier Mendez is giving McGregor props on his wrestling. Yo, is this motherfucking Team McGregor low-key? No, I'm just kidding. But he was talking about Khabib there, and, you know, he wasn't saying he's uncoachable, but he's just saying he doesn't always listen. But as long as he's winning, hey, fuck it. With that being said, he said he has to stand up with him. You can't just go take Conor down. Conor's a master, too. He's a great fighter for a reason. We know there's going to be some stand-up. There has to be. There's no way around it. McGregor poses a lot of problems if we fall into his game. He's also fantastic on the ground, and people don't give him enough credit, but I'm not underestimating his ground game. So, I mean, it's still a good sign that he's not underestimating Conor McGregor's ground game, you know what I'm saying? But kind of like he said about Khabib, like, there's no amount of time we can prepare for Conor stand-up. there's not really any amount of time that Conor can have in between now and this camp or this fight to prepare for Khabib's grappling. Now, anybody can get submitted, you know what I'm saying? You can fuck around and get caught, and Conor does have a brown belt. That's facts. He could submit Khabib, but it's not super possible. I mean, it's not super likely. But he could fuck around and submit Khabib. He's got a better... His ground game is underestimated, but Khabib's coach not underestimating it. So, yeah. Let's rush through this. We can get the panel on here. 50 Cent says, I want to put up $1 million in cash. We played that. 50 Cent. Bellator Welterweight Grand Prix kicks off tomorrow, Saturday. Bellator 206, Koreshkov versus Lima. Holy smokes, that card is stacked. Speaking of Bellator, I'm repping Bellator. Scott Coker, doubtful free agent Eddie Alvarez returns to Bellator. We might be seeing Eddie Alvarez fighting for one championship, guys. That is facts. And oh, by the way, full-time family, if you haven't yet, we got 63 people watching the show. If you haven't finished biting your bagels, do your boy a favor and hit the thumbs up button. We're going to be getting the live panel on shortly. But yeah, make sure you hit the thumbs up button while you're here. If you're listening on the replay, however you're doing your thing, hit the thumbs up button for your boy. It'd be much appreciated. Now let's continue, finish the show before we get the panel on here. Add No Filter MMA to the panel. Yes, sir. I'll let anybody hop in here. I'm going to probably need you guys' emails because there's probably too many people in here just to drop the link in the chat. Probably going to get some trolls. We'll see. We'll see. Scott Coker, doubtful free agent Eddie Alvarez returns to Bellator. One emerged as a big front runner to sign Eddie Alvarez. Actually, there was news a couple days ago that came out that one had a lot of interest in Eddie Alvarez. I mean, to kind of be one of their faces of their, you know, as I believe they're going into a new Asian market. They want Eddie Alvarez, he's fought even before the UFC and Bellator. He was fighting all around the world and shit. So Eddie Alvarez has a lot of experience. He's fought McGregor. He's a former UFC champion. Legendary fights with Michael Chandler. He's got a lot of value out here, and the UFC might not value him as highly as he is actually worth. And so if one or Bellator can pay him the big bucks, I'm sure he's willing to do that. Dana White's even said on the UFC Unfiltered podcast, Eddie Alvarez is looking at signing the last contract of his career. So I'm fine if he wants to go out and look for as much money as possible. So Eddie Alvarez potentially could go to one. MMA Buds in the building. He says Eddie headed to one championship in Japan in April. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen because now, I mean, I seen the articles about one, and I know that's really your expertise. So maybe you'll hop on the panel too today, MMA Buds. That'd be dope. But yeah, man. Doubtful free agent, doubtful Eddie Alvarez is going to Bellator, and that Michael Chandler re-signed to Bellator, and I was hoping that wherever Michael Chandler went, Eddie Alvarez would go. There was a point where they were both free agents together, Eddie Alvarez and Michael Chandler. Eddie Alvarez became a free agent in the UFC. Michael Chandler became a free agent, and I was thinking where one goes, the other's gonna go. If Eddie Alvarez resigns with the UFC, Michael Chandler's going to the UFC. If Michael Chandler resigns with Bellator, then Eddie Alvarez is going to Bellator. And then, phew, here comes one out of nowhere. Fuck yo, Michael Chandler versus Eddie Alvarez 3. Nigga, we taking Eddie Alvarez to Japan. Like, okay. Well, shit, I'll probably watch him over there, maybe. I don't know. I might watch, at least his fight. I don't know who he would fight, but still. It's going to, I guess, be looking really to expand MMA a little more in Japan with one championship. So either way, Jorge 1 in the building. Salute to Jorge 1. Yes, but the humble thing is somewhat of a shtick, and there's a measure of hypocrisy on both sides. They're fighters, not monks. My boy spitting the knowledge. God Flawless says Alvarez about to come up on that Japanese money. Hell yeah, man, like Chris Tucker and Rush Hour and shit. Mary Thomas says, hey, I bite bagels at breakfast, but I'm far from a biatch. Well, then hit that thumbs up button for your boy. It'd be much appreciated. We got 2 more topics to talk about before we start the panel. Rory MacDonald, happy to not be a part of the annoying and fake UFC welterweight shuffle. Oh, I thought it was going to be more of an article. It's not. Either way. Yeah, man, because there's a lot of tougher fights over there, and you're making a lot more money over here at Bellator, I would imagine, though. Rory MacDonald is making double or triple what he was making with the UFC, according to Sage Northcutt. He's like one of the faces of the promotion. He's fighting now in a champ versus champ fight against Gegard Mousasi this weekend. He's fighting for the middleweight title. He's already the welterweight champion. He's got sponsorships. I mean, Rory's doing pretty good for himself over at Bellator, and over in the UFC, you got Till, Covington, Covington, fucking Woodley, Usman, fucking RDA, Wonder Boy. You got a lot of welterweights that are all trying to get to that title. Meanwhile, Tyron Woodley's kind of sending everybody back fucking down to the contender spot, just fucking smashing them back down into each other. So it would be hard for Rory to even get back to the title shot. A lot of people might want to see it because he has a win over Tyron Woodley. But in order to get to that fight, he might have to fucking fight Lawler, and he might have to fucking fight Till, and all of these aren't great matchups for Rory, and also don't got no sponsors, so he's doing a lot better in Bellator. I can imagine he's pretty happy over there. But I don't know about annoying and fake. I can see the annoying if you're talking about Colby Covington. Oh, and fake if you're talking about, you know, I guess they're fucking building storylines and shit, like, as far as, you know, Kobe, not building storylines, but they're fucking really going into the entertainment aspect of the UFC, and so he believes a lot of people are being fake. I could imagine, you know, Colby Covington, Tyron Woodley. I mean, I don't know. I don't think Tyron Woodley's being fake, but at the same time, I think he's down to sell a fight. But I don't think Rory MacDonald is above selling a fight. I'll just say that. But he's doing pretty well for himself. Michael McDonald, no relation. He's announcing his retirement. He took to Facebook, I believe, and he said, "My friends and family, I'm excited to announce the start of a new chapter for me and my wife, Rachel. Today, I'm officially retiring from MMA fighting, and I plan on never competing in martial arts competitions again. I had a wonderful career and a wonderful staff, an even greater and wonderful wife, and a wonderful God to thank for all the great moments. I'm now going to be doing my woodworking full-time, from here for many, many years to come. I have been a professional cabinet and furniture maker for 7 years now alongside my fighting. I have my own custom cabinetry and furniture shop, and am just as passionate about woodworking, as I am about martial arts. I put the same hard work and I put the same hard work and striving for perfection into my woodworking, craft as you have all seen in my fighting career. Here's a brief write-up of my retirement and the reasons for my friend Brett Okamoto." So he's retiring, man. He was actually a really good Bellator bantamweight. Let's pull up his record, because he actually had a good record. Michael McDonald. I think he might have lost his last fight. Oh, that's not the right Michael McDonald. Michael McDonald Sherdog? I thought I already had this pulled up. Alright. Michael Mayday McDonald. He formerly fought in the UFC as well. So he fought in the UFC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He went 6-3 in the UFC, only losing to Hidden Barral, Uriah Faber, and John Lineker. You know, 3 of the best bantamweights. And then he went 2-0 in Bellator. So he was coming off of a first-round knockout, and he retired at only the age of 27. Wow, you must really love woodworking, No, but yo, that's, you know, kind of, I mean, he's getting out before, you know, a lot of the times you say fighters don't know when to get out. Maybe this is a little early, especially coming off a first-round knockout, right? It's not like you're coming off of getting knocked out and you're like, yo, I'm not getting my fucking egg scrambled much longer. Forget that noise. But he's retiring at only the age 19-4, fucking great record, 27 years old. This guy might be in his prime. Just knocked out Eduardo Dantas. Yo, maybe he comes back, but I mean, he's going full-time woodworking, but either way, man, that's kind of surprising. I didn't realize he was on a 2-fight winning streak over in Bellator. He just came over to Bellator, former UFC fighter. I mean, I'm sure he could have fought for the title sooner or later, but got that woodworking gig, and he's just as passionate, so you can't be mad at that. But yeah, MMA buds, don't shit on Sherdog unless you own the toilet, says Mary Thomas. Topology Bro says MMA buds. Sherdog, what is this, 2010? Hey, Sherdog, I like what Sherdog has a lot of the time, man. As far as they got some shit. I like Sherdog. I go to Topology sometimes too, but yeah, I still fuck with Sherdog when I'm pulling up fighters' records and stuff. But yeah, man, Topology, yeah, it's not 2010, but I hear what you're saying. I've heard people echo that sentiment. Sherdog is old school. Maybe I'm not hipster enough. No, I'm just kidding. But I fuck with Sherdog. I don't really use him for news. This is really what I use Sherdog for. Pulling up fighters' resumes. That's what I use it for. Fucking their fights, their records. It's usually on point. But yeah, so Michael McDonald retiring from Bellator a little bit early. With that being said, let's get the panel in here for at least a good 30 minutes before I gotta fucking jet to work. And it's payday too. So it's always a good feeling, but it actually ain't payday because it's rent time and I gotta fucking start working on this payday loan. But I'm excited. I'm excited. Pause. Type, then pause, and it'll show. Type pause minus equals pause, and then it'll show. Okay. Jeff Gregg and TJ Jordan all gone from Sherdog. They made that company. I don't know anything about any of them motherfuckers. I don't know who made Sherdog. I don't know who works at Sherdog. I'm just a motherfucking fan. But I have heard something about that, like listening to like the Luke Thomas show or something maybe. Kenshiro says, former UFC champions get mad, good pay. It's hard to think Eddie would not re-sign with the UFC. Yeah, that's a good point too. But I mean, maybe he won. You know, like, you know how Roy's making a lot more money, and he's not a former champion, but he could still make good money in the UFC, and I would think he's valuable, right? Former lightweight champion, fought McGregor in the biggest fight of UFC history. But one, if they're gonna use him as the face of their promotion, and he can get sponsorships, maybe he can make more money being the face of a promotion. You know, you can still make good pay in the UFC, but you might make a lot more money somewhere else. Kim Jong-un said, I've seen his early record aren't that good, I guess, and some stopped MMA after fighting Khabib, so he's still like 8-0 in the UFC. Michael McDonald was never anything special in my opinion, says Kyle Stevens. Yeah, but he still had a future ahead of him as far as MMA. A great record. I mean, 2-0 in Bellator. He's in Bellator. He's going to be a lot closer to in the UFC. He probably would have never been champ. But, I mean, you're in Bellator, dog. You can get sponsors. You got a good record. You can pick up some wins. I mean, Darion Caldwell, the Bellator champion, that's going to be a tough matchup for anybody. I mean, you know, coming over. He's a really good wrestler. So, that would be a tough matchup. But you can at least get to the title fight. You have a chance against the dude. So, either way, he was a decent fighter, 18-4, only 27 years old, coming off of a first-round knockout over Eduardo Dantos. That's very impressive. Benji says Michael McDonald was looking like a prospect until John Lineker sat him down, if I remember correctly. $2. Khabib's going to be sleeping in one, says El Chapo. Let me pull up the Google Hangout. Google Hangout. Definitely want to get the panel on here. That's why I started streaming earlier today. So here's Google Hangouts, a video. I need to get like an email list, because I have a feeling if I put this link in the chat, somebody's gonna hop in here. Now, I don't know how to kick their ass off of here, and maybe I shouldn't have said that. Actually, I tell you what. Send me your email, guys, if you want on the panel. Send me your email. I don't even want to deal with the trolls that'll ruin the whole panel. Let's not do that. I mean, if you haven't yet, guys, hit the thumbs up button. It'd be much appreciated. We're going to be taking off after the panel. But we'll be doing a live Bellator companion tomorrow for show. Bellator 206 is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. It's stacked. Carrie Melendez is fighting, too. She's going to be taking on, she's a big favorite. She's taking on Dakota Zimmerman. Going to be, you know, getting some justice for Trayvon and shit in there. Whooping on a Zimmerman. It's not too soon. It's not too soon. So yeah, let me pull up. I got my email up now so I can send people. Alright. Let's see. Are there any emails? There's. Wait, no, that's not an email. That's not an email. Alright. Any emails? I can send it to you on Twitter forward. And Stamina, I suppose. Alright. Anybody else, if you want in the panel, send me your email. Let's talk some MMA. Alright, forward, I'm sending it to you on Twitter. It's in your messages. It's in that group chat with Stamina. Alright. Everybody else, let me check the chat. Are there any emails? Who's trying to hop on the panel? Uh-oh, there we go, there we go. There we go. Alright, send me email and I'll be there in my Khabib voice. Send me email. Send me email location. Oh, Stamina and Forward. We already got the group chat on Twitter. I sent it to both of y'all in there, so y'all should be able to join in there, since that's both the people. Oh, okay. I'm cool. I'm from Louisiana too. All right, so Forward and Stamina should be able to hop in here if you guys check your Twitter. No Filter MMA. What is your email, good sir? We'll get you in here. And in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to pull up the Hangout. Hey, properties. Google Hangout, right? That's not the one though. All right, so where's my Google Hangout? Here it is. Here's the link. I'm about to put it in the chat if this doesn't work, but it should work. Let me see if he's put his email in. No Filter MMA. Cool, brother. I'm still missing that gumbo. And he Toeface says, Mr. Perfect 2005. Joseph Ridden said, told y'all Chapo's cool. No Filter MMA says, I'm ready, bro. Need that email. Jabba the Hutt says, I was trying to watch Tough today, but the stream was skipping. Yeah, I've been missing Tough. I want to watch this episode. The women's theme. I missed like the last 2 episodes. Ladies first, get Mary on the panel. Let's go, Mary. Wait, no, the panel's on Hangouts, but I have I messaged the Hangout to them instead of their email. I just sent it to them on Twitter. But it's on Hangouts. I would just need your email, Mary. But for sure, we can get you in here. And I'm going to send the email to forward just in case you motherfuckers didn't get it on the Twitter. Okay. And also, where the hell is my fucking Google Chrome? That should be popping up. Or at least my Google Hangouts. I'm over here. Alright guys. I know. It's not working correctly. I don't hear anybody on the Hangout yet. And also, it didn't let me put the Hangout on the screen right there, so I'll have to try and fix that as well. But at least you'll be able to hear you guys if you hop on for sure. So, waiting on Forward, waiting on Stamina, waiting on Mary Thomas's email. It's probably in the chat by now. Let me pull it up. Mary Thomas is a pin on Twitter Hangouts. I thought links go on email too. Yeah, I can. Who's in here? Somebody's in here. Okay, there it is. There's your email. I see your email. I'll send it to you. Copy. Boom. Compose. Now let me get the link for you. Alright, looks like we got Stamina in the building.
Check. Level 1, 2.
What's going on?
What's going on, brother? I'm really just trying to listen today more than anything else, but I thought I'd make up numbers. Let's get the thing moving, get the wheels turning.
All right, sounds good. Well, as soon as Forward hops in here, I just sent the link to Mary Thomas. Mary Thomas will be coming in soon.
MT, where you at? Come true.
I know he wants to talk about the GOAT. Piss ping. This guy. All right.
Yeah, you might never find a way back from that one. My God.
Now I'm trying to get this on the screen while we wait on Mary Thomas and Forward.
Oh, what? Cam's coming as well, yeah?
Is Cam Murphy coming? Is she?
She put just so you put her email in there. Yeah.
Okay. Let's pull it up.
Cam and
Yo,
Stan.
1, 2 testing. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, yes, we can.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Forward in the building.
Okay, we're about to have a live panel.
It's about to be. A quick shout out to the chat. Shout out to Nan Murphy. Shout out to Leon Dobson. Shout out to Infamous MMA. All you guys in the chat, loving all the good vibes and whatnot. Yeah, but let's get into this, man. I'm ready.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, you can take over while I send out these links.
Yeah, well, you know what? First things first. I mean, it's not a Nate Diaz fight about someone with a drama beforehand. I mean, as much as everybody likes the Diaz brothers, and don't get me wrong, I do as well. It's just some of the theatrics at times can be a bit over the top. But, you know, in this case, I do actually side with them, right? Because for a start, I know that they didn't want to be in a 230 card. They thought that they should have been, at the very worst, co-main event to McGregor and, Khabib versus McGregor. Or even in their own right, a main event for some sort. But that wasn't the case. And I doubt at this stage in the game personally they're going to make a 165-pound division just off the spot and then give them the title for it. So I do doubt that. Now, what could end up happening, and what I'm hearing rumbles of, which hasn't been too much, there hasn't been too much reports on this, is potentially Rockhold versus Wyman getting elevated above them into the main event, because that can actually likely be made for an interim title, whereas for Diaz and Poirier, you can't really make that into an interim title for this point in time, obviously, with McGregor and Khabib fighting a month before. So it really could end up being Rockhold Wyman, especially Wyman being a New York guy, being put into the main event above these guys, and then you're going to get these guys pretty much feeling like, oh, well, we're being surpassed by guys we're actually meant to be above. So I don't know if that could be the main event for 230. I mean, it wouldn't be the greatest fight as much as I would want Jones to be in the main event, but it would be pretty interesting to see if they could be elevated above Poirier and Diaz for the main event.
Now, the only thing about that is that we have Whitaker that's going to be fighting Gastelum next because they're coaching tough. So for a middleweight interim champion, I don't know if they would do that, but I mean, it's possible. I mean, they're scrambling for a main event right now. All right, I think all the links are sent.
Yo.
What's going on? Mary Thomas in the building.
In the house.
In the house. Okay.
Yeah, what's up, Mary?
Hey, everyone. What's going on?
Not too much. I'm going to try and put the Google Hangouts on the screen. Anything you wanted to talk about specifically today, Mary Thomas? Get off your chest.
Actually, pretty much everything that's been on my mind, we went over in the live stream, kinda. But to reiterate anything, I'm open to it. I mean, I'm just going with the flow right now.
El Chapo was 5 years. Appreciated El Chapo. Okay.
How much dog is that?
€5, I think like $6 or a little over 5. 7 maybe, somewhere around there. A little more than 5. It's a little more than the actual dollar.
You know, I never understood that. Like, if America was supposed to be like the richest country, why does euro money worth more? You know, like
America's value's been going down lately.
uh.
I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but no, yeah, I don't know about the exact, like there's some places it's a lot less, like you know, like pesos, like it all differs. But other than that, so what do you guys think about Nate Diaz and implying that he's belling on, you know what I'm saying, like UFC 230? What do you think about him? Like, do you think he'll fight if it's not for the 165-pound title? Because right now he's acting like, you know what I'm saying, he might be off the card.
First of all, he be talking some shit about Woodley, yet still he won't step his skinny ass up to go fight him. So I don't think he should be talking any kind of shit. And to be honest, I haven't seen him in like how many months to years? Like, nah, it's about time, boy. It's about time to get in that ring and do what you're paid to do. I don't know what the fuck he's been doing on the side. I don't know what's been caught up. I don't know if he's suspended. Fill me up on that. But I don't know, man. He needs to just shut up and fight.
Yeah, man, it would suck. He's been out for a couple of years ever since that fight with McGregor. And, I mean, there's been multiple reasons. Now, he brought up something. He said he had a lawsuit, and so he wasn't eligible to fight. But before that, the UFC had still been offering him fights, and he was hinting at coming back and talking about going to boxing and bike season. So it's been a while, man. But also, he makes money now outside the UFC. But yeah, the fact that he was scheduled to fight Dustin Poirier, I think it would be a shame if he pulls out now. What do you think, Infamous?
What about Diaz?
Yeah. Nate Diaz.
Oh, not Nick. Oh,
he's acting like some little kid who had his toy taken away or some shit. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, to understand Nate Diaz, I'd have to be high right now. Then I'll probably understand it.
That's hilarious.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay. Other than that, you guys have one thing that's coming up. I don't know who the top thing. Maybe Cam Murphy.
Yo,
hold up.
Mad
Sorry.
echo. If you're listening to the chat, you might have to mute it in the background and just listen to it.
What do you think of this fucking rat that went to Khabib's camp?
Cam Murphy, your shit's echoing real bad. So if you could just mute it in the background, because it sounds like you're listening to the stream and it's coming through your microphone.
Okay.
10-4. You still going? All right, we're good. We're good. We're good. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. How's it going, Cam?
I'm good. I just want to let people know that I'm actually a real board. Well, I suppose chick, as you say, but yeah, I'm not a fake bitch, bro.
Hell yeah. What's up, man? Thanks for coming on the chat. Good to have you on.
Cool. Stam, where's your ass at?
Am I
Oh,
here?
he went on mute.
Why is it not talking?
Yeah, Stan, we hear you now. We hear you.
You got me, yeah. I think the thing's not me. All right, cool, whatever. We're good. I'm here. I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, Stan, he said he's more listening today. He's more listening. But yeah,
Yeah, Loki, lurking.
Yes, sir. So, is there anything any of you guys really want that you guys have been wanting to talk about today? I mean, we got about 15 more minutes. I mean, so anything on you guys' mind about McGregor versus Khabib, or I mean, really Bellator 206? Are you guys interested in that this weekend? Musashi versus McDonald. How do you guys see that going?
Can't wait for that shit. Can't wait for that.
That's gonna be.
I
fucking
hope
awesome.
Rory knocks his ass out.
Oh shit!
I really
sis.
do.
I think McDonald's got it, I guess.
Yep, I hope he fucking knocks his ass out. So, nothing against K-Guard, I like him, but I'm just with Rory on this one. So,
And guys, I'm trying to put
I'll be watching that.
I'm trying to put the actual panel on the screen, but it's not letting me right now because I was trying to put some new software on here. So for some reason that's messing up, but everyone can still hear you guys. So that's the good news.
How do you guys feel about Valentina versus Joanna?
Oh, it's working.
Oh, that shit is gonna be good.
Valentina versus Joanna in UFC 231. You know what?
Yeah, we talked about that before. That was hilarious.
Yeah, this is how I feel. First, I was feeling like I really don't see how Joanna has much of a chance because she already lost 2 or 3 times in the stand-up game, Muay Thai. We've seen Valentina submit Juliana Pena. Valentina's the bigger fighter, the better grappler, and the better striker. So I'm like, where's the chance for Joanna? But someone came in, a Joanna simp came out, and boy, they let me know some shit. Yo, they said, how are you saying Joanna has another chance? Have you not watched their Muay Thai fights? The third fight was a robbery. The third fight, they were in Valentina's hometown, and Joanna won. And I was like, oh, well, let me go back and watch those. So I want to go back and watch those. But as of right now, just what we've seen in MMA, and also Rose beat Joanna, and it feels like that's because she trained with Valentina. So I don't know. I just get the sense of like Valentina. I look at her kind of as Joanna's kryptonite, and she was able to give some of that to Rose, and it's like, so it could be very bad for Joanna, but maybe I'll have a different opinion. Have any of you guys actually watched those 3 Muay Thai fights? I want to go do that.
Yeah, I did. One thing that caught me was that when you look at it, though, the real reason why Valentina beat Joanna, if you look at it, only about 40% of that fight was striking. Valentina was always clinching Joanna and dumping her. That's really what she was doing. Because if you notice, when Joanna was starting to strike Valentina out, Valentina would just grab a limb and push her on the floor. That's literally what Valentina does. So even if Valentina can be the better striker, I feel like that's not really a nice platform to build your opinion on if you think Joanna's going to lose that badly to her. Because Valentina wasn't even fully striking with her anyway.
Yeah.
Only about like a percentage of that was kicking and punching. Valentina would just hug her. So I don't know. And then
in MMA, in that clinch, she'll be able to potentially take the fight to the floor. But yeah, so I mean, maybe it'll be closer. I think she might be able to give her a good fight. But what if Valentina comes in here and fucking, I don't know. Valentina's the favorite. Maybe Joanna has more of a chance than some people are giving her, but that's to be seen.
Right.
But she could also be taking this because if she didn't take this title fight, probably be a while before she got this opportunity again. This isn't just a title fight either. You know what I'm saying? With Joanna, a lot of times in the past, it's just a title fight. It's Joanna defending her belt against another girl that has no chance. Here, it's against another legitimate WMMA superstar. Valentina Shevchenko is one of the biggest names in WMMA, so is Joanna. And so it's a big fight for Joanna. It's a big opportunity. Even if she doesn't have much of a chance, I mean, it's a big opportunity. I mean, her only other option was to kind of take a vacation until Andrade fights Rose, and then if Rose wins that, then she's just going to be Joanna contender. So this is an opportunity for her to move up into the new division and get an immediate title shot. So I think this is, I really like the fight. And then, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, maybe do any of you guys give Joanna more of a chance than a lot of other people are?
I'm giving Valentina a bit more of a chance than you are.
Joanna?
I mean,
You mean Joanna?
I still think the Val's going to do it, but I'm not as dismissive of JJ as you see.
I'm not dismissing her. All I'm pointing out is the fact that Valentina's better on the feet and the mat.
That's cool. I'll concede. I'll agree with all of that. I don't think, or I would like to think, that you can't really read so much into what happened 10 years ago. I'm not really going to do too much of that.
Did someone just hop in with the echo?
Cam again. Cam, I think that's you again.
Oh, I think it might have been Poirier.
Sorry. Whose shit is echoing?
I don't think it's echoing. Oh yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, it's Cam's on a little bit. I don't know if it's because you're listening to the stream or something, but if you just mute it in between when you talk, that'll fix the problem too. Either mute it or turn down the background noise.
Sorry, I got kicked out, so it keeps going on that. Sorry, my bad.
It's all good. All right, Stamina. So yeah, I'm not trying to be too, because I made that mistake in the past. I'm not trying to make that, especially with Joanna, because I was dismissive of Rose, but I think a lot of people were like, yo, Joanna's about to beat Rose, and she came out there and knocked her out. 100,
which was going to be my second point, actually, insofar as people do really want to credit a lot of Rose's victory over JJ to Rose's training with Valentina. Again, I'm trying to hear that up to a point, but I'm saying that if Valentina is able to tell Rose anything that is useful in defeating Joanna 10 years after Valentina has fought Joanna hasn't learned anything in an entire fucking decade. That's a bit too big to ask for me personally. I don't like that as an idea. I don't think that Joanna's just stayed still for 10 whole years so that someone else can beat her. I'm not trying to hear that. Not really.
And that's not true either. If you look at the way Joanna fought when she fought Carla, and you look at the way she fights now, Joanna was actually much slower, and she used to throw a lot more power punches, and she was a lot more flat-footed, actually. Now, she's actually a lot more energetic. She has higher cardio. She throws faster, which means her punches are weaker, but I still think speed kind of beats strength in certain areas. So, but yeah, like she did improve.
Okay, so here's the question. Yeah. If Joanna wins, how does she do it? Is it going to be a decision, or do you guys think she can knock her out?
For Joanna to win, she has to outwork Valentina.
Outwork her?
Yes, Valentina's a methodical, counter puncher. You can outwork her, even if you can't outskill her. You could, throw more punches and make it look like you're doing more. Kind of know what Nunes did.
Exactly. That's exactly what had happened.
And if you look at the scorecards, I mean, for the Rose fight, of course, if you look at their faces, Rose did more damage, and you can say, I think she won the fight. But technically, Joanna outworked her. But, that doesn't always win you the belt just because you technically outwork somebody. But, yeah, she could. I mean, it's a neutral belt. It's not like it's Valentina's belt she's trying to take. It's a neutral belt. So, I mean, if it goes to a decision, Joanna could win the decision. I'm not counting her all the way out. You know what I'm saying? Even like maybe Rose versus Joanna. But it's a tough task. That's all I'm saying. I mean, if you look at the stand-up, you probably give the edge to Valentina and maybe even the grappling. But at the same time, maybe Joanna comes out and she looks a lot better at flyweight. That's another thing. She had those bad weight cuts at 115, and she didn't make that as an excuse. But also, we don't know how she's going to look at 125. She could come out here and look fucking amazing.
Well, she's going to be a freak. She's going to be a monster. She's already crazy at flyweight. She's already and she's had terrible weight cuts. So imagine when she doesn't have to deplete her body as much. Imagine when she has more weight to her and more power to her because of the weight. So hell yeah, it's gonna be a good fight despite what people say about who's gonna win. It's gonna be good.
Yes, ma'am. Bob Cratcher says Valentina flipped Joanna out of the ring in their last fight. I'm gonna go back and watch those. Benji
actually
says,
that was Joanna. That was a Valentina.
Oh, he says, that was Joanna. Joanna flipped Valentina out?
Yeah, because if you look at, I watched it, a few days ago. I sound obsessed, but I did watch it. And the third time, it was the second time they fought. When they were clinching and they were trying to dunk each other, they fell over the ring, and Valentina fell more over the ropes than Joanna did. So I think it was Valentina that fell.
That's something to look forward to. Joseph Reardon says Joanna's interview when she pulled that reporter was funny. Yeah, that was funny. She's like, come say that in front of the cameras. That was pretty funny. Mr. Perfect 2005 says, bro, this channel is my shit. Look forward to it every day. Plus the fact full-time takes notes. I appreciate it, Mr. Perfect 2005. Much appreciated, man. All right, guys. Well, I do have to go to work sooner rather than later. So how about for everybody, we get everybody's closing thoughts, and we'll do another panel soon because I know this was a shorter panel. But I want to let everyone get their closing thoughts off, and then we'll try and do 2 more panels this weekend. I want to do a lot more panels. I always enjoy these. So with that being said, we will start. Let me pull up the Hangout. We'll start with Infamous MMA. Well, actually, ladies first. We'll start with you, Mary Thomas, and then we'll let Cam go, and then next closest to the lady, we'll let. No, I'm just kidding. Then we'll go to the men. So, Mary Thomas, you got any closing thoughts before we get out of here?
It looks like both of them just got kicked out at the same time.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, Cam's back.
All right, Cam's back. All right.
How does that keep happening? It's weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
Phone, my bad.
Okay, it's all good. Well, what I was just saying is I got to get to work soon, so there's going to be a shorter panel, but we'll do another panel this weekend, Saturday and Sunday probably. I'll do the Fight Companion, and we might do a panel before it, but I was going to let you and Mary give you guys' closing thoughts first, and we're going to do our closing thoughts and get out of here for the day, but we'll be back this weekend for sure for another panel. So, Cam, you can go first, and Mary's back, I see now, and then Mary can go. And we'll do that. So yeah, closing thoughts. Anything going on in MMA? Just whatever's on your mind.
Yeah, I'm just disgusted at Nate. Being honest, I can't believe he's getting the shot at 165, and then he's throwing it back in their face. I'll see you next year. He's gonna be 3 years not fighting. So I don't know. I'm done with Nate. Anyway, he's a great fighter, but I'm just done with Nate. I just don't want to hear any more about the Diaz. I'm done with them. So, and can't wait for Bellator tomorrow. To whoop ass there.
Okay, sounds good. Who you got in Rampage and Silva? You care about that fight or just really
Rampage?
Rampage.
Oh, always with Rampage.
Yo, all right, Mary Thomas. What about you? You got any closing thoughts? Good to hear from you, Cam. And again, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, Nate's just acting a fool.
Sorry, I asked you both a question.
He's just acting a clown. I don't know what's wrong with Nate. I'm not too worried about him. Just, I don't know, whatever he can fight, he'll fight, I guess. I don't like stressing too much over people. But yeah, I look forward to JJ and Shevchenko. I look forward to Nunes and Cyborg, and I look forward to the ass whooping that either the Eagle or the Leprechaun is gonna get. So
definitely the Eagle's going out. He's going to fucking sleep.
Yeah, because you're not biased at all, are you, Cam?
No, I'm not. I'm not half biased.
Yo, that's hilarious. All right, well, I appreciate you two ladies coming on. Now we'll move to Infamous MMA. What are your closing thoughts, brother?
I feel like the UFC should just give the Diaz brothers a weed exemption. I feel like they complain a lot less. That's all I gotta say, man. Honestly.
Like anytime they're complaining, like just
yeah,
somebody get Nate Diaz
a
goddamn joint
in their fucking mouth so they can shut up.
That's funny. All right. Well, next we will go to Forward. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, you know what? Changing pace a little bit. What I'm looking forward to, as my final thoughts, is the whole fight week next week. Because I'd be interested to see if there's another press conference, just because I would love to see the interactions between the likes of, obviously, the main event, Khabib and Conor, but also Tony Ferguson, because he's got a lot of history with Khabib. And I mean, just imagine if he's going to be sitting next to Conor McGregor. I mean, I can just imagine that dynamic already is going to be pretty crazy. So, and also obviously Derek Lewis on Volkov. I mean, people are kind of sleeping on that fight, but I mean, I think it's one of the more interesting fights coming up in the heavyweight division, considering just how kind of log jammed it is up front with obviously DC being a double champion, Stipe just coming off of losing, kind of got Jon Jones lurking, Brock Lesnar's just coming back. So it's pretty interesting to see what's going to be going on there. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to fight week and everything that's going to be happening in the coming weeks. And also, hopefully, a UFC 230 main event announcement, which is actually worthy of obviously what Dana was hyping up, because he said that we're not going to let everyone down in New York. We never let them down. Let's see if he does it. Let's see if he keeps his word.
Okay. All right. One more person. Stamina MC. Closing thoughts?
Man, my only closing thoughts are just how, I don't know where my head has been for the last however long, but to actually just look at 229 as a card in its entirety, I'm super, super gassed. This is going to be some serious shit. All I will say, actually, is if anyone that's on now or listening or will listen later or whatever is in London and knows somewhere outdoors, whatever, where the fight's been shown on a big screen or whatever, let's all catch up and let's all watch it in a fucking pub or a bar or whatever the fuck. Because I just want to get on a hype next week. I'm so ready.
Let's go.
I'm so ready.
All right. Well, one fight that I thought actually Ford was going to say when he was going to change it up, when he was talking about the main event, I was ready to interject. What about the people's main event? Sean O'Malley versus Jose Quiñones. Let's motherfucking go. That's going to be dope. I've been watching his like vlogs and shit on his YouTube channel. He's getting ready. So, but no, I wanted to touch on that. But no, really what I wanted to point out is this card coming up this weekend, man. Bellator is doing their thing. Gegard Mousasi versus Rory MacDonald. And, you know, I know Cam wants to see Rory knock out Gegard, but unfortunately Gegard is the moose. The GOAT, either way.
More like the moose. No, you were right. He's the fucking moose.
The GOAT? Yeah, he's a lot more GOAT than the moose. But either
we
way,
know who the real GOAT is. Come on, man.
It's a tough
Come
fight
on.
for
Do I
Rory.
need to be
Yo, just chill. And Michael Bisping got the belt, but other than that, I don't know if he's in the same breath as Gegard Mousasi. I'm just saying.
Could have lost that belt to Dan Henderson.
Yo, yeah.
He won that fight.
Man,
we all saw it. Come on.
Could you imagine if you lost that fight? Like GSP never goes to middleweight, maybe. But other than the main event though, you got Rampage Vanderlei 4. But I really like this Lima versus Koreshkov fight. This is a great fight, man. It's a trilogy fight. And Cam, I think you're echoing a little bit, or somebody. I'm assuming it's Cam because that's who it's been in the past. But Koreshkov versus Lima, it's a trilogy fight. Koreshkov won the first fight. He was able to use his grappling and really control Lima. Lima won the second fight, was able to knock out Koreshkov after getting taken down in the first couple of rounds, I believe. So this is a close fight. Winner moves on in the welterweight tournament. It's the first fight of the welterweight tournament, and that's not even a main event or co-main event. And they're both former Bellator welterweight champions. You got Aaron Pico. He's literally, there's an ESPN headline before his first fight. They said, is this the greatest MMA prospect of all time? And he's 3-1, but god damn, they turned up the competition. He's fighting Leandro Higo 18-4. He's coming up a division, but that's a lot of experience to be throwing at your damn prospect. Like, if Pico loses this fight, that's gonna, you're gonna really look at Bellator like, what the fuck were you guys doing there? So that's a fight I'm really interested in. As a person that I'm a fan of Aaron Pico, I want to see what he does, but I just feel like this might be too much too soon. We'll see. And then of course Kerry Melendez and Dakota Zimmerman. What's up?
I said Pico's gonna knock this guy out.
You think he's gonna hit him with that liver shot, his famous liver shot? I don't think he's gonna knock this guy out. I think this will be a decision. I think he's gonna win a decision here because Higo's not as green. He's got a lot more experience than these guys Pico's been knocking out with that body shot. I think Pico can get the win here. I think he'll probably show off more of his wrestling, being the bigger fighter. But I think he can probably get a decision in this fight. If he knocks him out, that'll be very impressive. But I think Pico probably gets a decision in that fight. And then, of course, Kerry Melendez, part of the scrap pack. Gilbert Melendez's wife taking on Dakota Zimmerman. She's probably going to come in here and beat the fuck out of Dakota Zimmerman. Oh, yeah. Who, you think Kerry Melendez gets her ass whooped?
Yep.
What? Word? Yo, that's crazy. She's like a 10-1 favorite.
So I'm just being biased on this one.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say, damn, she's. I watched doing my research for the fight, a couple of her kickboxing fights. She was looking clean out there. So the stand up,
no, she's good. I'll give her props. She's good, but I'm just being biased on this one.
Okay. Well, maybe she can get one back in for Trayvon. We'll see. No, I'm just kidding. But
I was thinking the same shit. I'm like, yeah.
You know what's crazy? Is like this chick's first fight was like in Missouri. I don't know if that's the same place. Either way, with that being said, I want to thank you guys for coming on the panel. Hopefully you guys come back on this weekend. Sunday 100% panel. Saturday Fight Companion will probably do a panel as well, just because I enjoy these, and we'll try and do these. I'll go live earlier on the weekdays so we can do this more often. So thank you everybody. Mary Thomas, I think was this your first time on our panel over here? I know you're on the Momcast and Coaches show all the time. This might have been Mary Thomas's first time on this panel. I see she's already off.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Cam Murphy, you too, and then Stamina, Infamous, and Forward. Always appreciate you guys. So, thanks for coming on, and everybody else.
Thank you for inviting us on.
Yes, ma'am.
And catch you on Sunday.
All right, see you Sunday, and everybody else in the chat, Leon Dubbison, Kim Jong Uzi, Full-Time Family, Mr. Perfect 2005, everybody, I appreciate it. I got to take off to work, so with that being said, it is what it is. Let the Full-Time Family know what you think in the comments. We're out.
Peace.